I'm the big dog at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, wherever we give him.
If we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was. When I said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say
that? You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. What's going? But I was playing. Yeah, man, nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. But yeah, I was playing. I wasn't serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo! Woo!
Man, sit your ass down.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? Alright, so with all that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Derrick James back at it again. Back at it again, talking that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Back at it again, exposing Errol Spence and Team Errol Spence, exposing the fact that they don't want to fight. Back at it again, embarrassing himself, talking about business, talking about things he got no business talking about. But don't take my word for it. Check out your boy, Derrick James, once again embarrassing himself in an interview with Brian Custer's Last Stand podcast. Okay, salute to Brian Custer's Last Stand podcast, man. Check him out.
You got word, hey, Bud Crawford fight is off. Bud Crawford's going to fight Evanisi.
I think it was very upsetting, but at the same time, I think that you have to just brush it off, man. Just keep it moving. I mean, I think that you really, something you hope for, you want it, you don't get it, it's okay. I mean, it's life. I mean, these are two very successful young men. And listen, not getting what they want is a part of life. And sometimes I think that on this level, you generally always get what you want because everybody's around you telling you what you want. And they like pacifying whatever you want.
So first of all, what the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is this man talking about right now, bro? Bro, what are you talking about right now, Derrick James, bro? Like, when I hear this dude ramble on and on like that, it's just, in my mind, this is me listening to him overcompensate. He's trying to describe how much they quote unquote wanted to fight, but he's rambling. He's rambling. You know what I mean? He's rambling. He's not saying what they did in order to get the fight. He's not explaining how much they wanted to fight. He's not explaining anything like that. He's talking about like dealing with disappointment, but he doesn't look disappointed in the slightest. You know what I mean? But let me keep going though. Here we go. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, one of the reasons, what the funniest thing about it is to never fight to be at this level, never really truly fight on a big pay-per-view fight card. Like, is to not really understand the business aspect of it. And I think that to build a fight is what makes the fight. And so what happened when you see him take this other fight and not build the fight and see you don't get, like, he gets what he wants, but the promoters as a whole don't get what they want.
Why is this nigga talking like Bud Crawford don't got almost 40 fights? Huh? So somebody make it make sense for me. Why is this nigga talking like Bud Crawford don't got almost 40 fights on his resume? So you think he don't know what needs to be done in order to make a fight? You think Bud Crawford don't know how the process is supposed to take place? You think he don't know? Derrick James. You think he don't know it don't take 3 months to draw up a draft? You think he don't know these things? You don't think Bud Crawford know these things? You don't think he got enough experience in boxing to know that it don't take this long to make a fight? Huh? Especially when it's the same guy that he's been trying to fight for the last 5 years, and every single time he's trying to fight him, it's always a new excuse, a new reason, a new reason as to why the fight can't happen. You think he don't know that? This is just embarrassing behavior on behalf of Derrick James, man. Simply just embarrassing behavior, man. Like, honestly and truly, man, you talking to a man with 40 fights, and you want to try to convince him and the rest of the world that he don't know what the process is when it comes to making a fight. He don't know how long it's supposed to take. He don't know that it shouldn't take 3 months to send a draft. He don't know that it shouldn't take a year because Bud left top rank in November of 2021. Okay, we are now in January of 2023. You think Bud don't know that it shouldn't take a year in order to make a fight? That's how you talking right now, Derrick James. This shit is just embarrassing, bro. Simply embarrassing. But let's keep it going.
You don't put up millions of dollars to lose millions of dollars, right? So I think that's the part of life that you really doesn't truly understand as a fighter and not a businessman. As a businessman, you have to build. I mean, you've been part of these big shows and you see what we have to do. You travel out to Dallas, you travel.
Okay, so here go Derrick James with the goofy shit again. Once again, you don't put up millions of... He's talking about why the promoter shouldn't lose money and all this type of bullshit. Again, deflecting, moving the goalposts, all kind of bullshit. But let's pick apart the stupid shit that he's talking about, right? Promoters losing money and shit like that, right? So first and foremost, right? If I'm getting paid to do a job, why in the hell would I care about what my employer, whether or not my employer is profitable? Why in the hell would I care about that? Somebody make it make sense for me. How many of you niggas out there got a job and every day you stress yourself out about whether or not your employer is profitable? Show of hands, please. Right? I can't stand when these Errol sexual fanboy motherfuckers use this kind of logic. Again, Bud is getting paid to do a job, right? So why in the hell would he care about whether or not his employer is profitable? Make it make sense to me, right? You're not gonna do business. You're not gonna not take a job because your employer is not profitable. That's not what you're gonna do, right? So it's goofy shit when he talks this shit, right? But then to add to the level of goofiness that Derrick James comes from, first and foremost, nigga, you dudes were offering Terrence Bud Crawford no guarantee, which means that you were putting up $0 as far as to have him fight. So why in the hell are we talking about putting up millions of dollars and losing money and all this type of shit where you were going to give him $0 in order to get in the ring? Somebody make it make sense for me. Derrick James, this is how you further know that these niggas don't want the fight, because all they're doing is fishing for reasons, fishing for little explanations, little rhyme, little things that they can think of that can make it justifiable for them to run away from the motherfucking fight. But at the end of the day, the real ones see through the bullshit, bro. You're talking about losing money and you're talking about all this type of stuff. At the end of the day, it ain't Bud's problem whether or not the promoter makes money, because that's the promoter. 1. 2, y'all were offering him no guarantee. So why would you even, what is the thought about even losing money if you're not putting up a guarantee for the fight? 2. But then to add a third element, how in the hell would you know whether or not the promoter is profitable or not? Right? Dudes want to talk all this shit about BLK Prime and how they lost money and these people lose money. But at the end of the day, you don't know that for a fact. BLK Prime came out and said that they exceeded expectations, right? And people have more ways to generate income rather than just pay-per-view sales. You can generate money on the gate. You can generate money on the rights to the fight. You can generate money on sponsorships, advertising, merchandise. Get up out of here with all this shit. You don't know whether or not they were profitable. So stop talking like you do. But let's keep it going though.
And it's like press conference, media. I mean, all access or whatever. Everything to build the fight. If you see in his uneducated perspective of what he thought boxing is, he got the fight, but he was the only winner. Not the promoter, so they thought. You know what I mean? So I think that, and at the same time, I think that if you were to go into negotiation now with those numbers, you have no leg to stand on. As Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Here you go with this dumb shit again. Again, please remind me, why does Bud Crawford need to be concerned about whether or not the promoters are profitable? That is the promoter's business. That ain't got shit to do with a Terrence Bud Crawford. It got nothing to do with it. Right? Absolutely nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, you pay him what you think you can generate, right? That's what you do when you're trying to make a fight. But these dudes ain't trying to pay Bud Crawford nothing. They not giving him no guarantee at all. So, are you saying that Bud Crawford ain't worth nothing? Is that what you're trying to say? Right? But then on top of that, Bud got to take 35% of a split with Errol Spence. But 35% is less than what Danny Garcia got, your Dennis Ugas got, Mikey Garcia got, Sean Porter got, right? When Bud has a bigger name and has sold more pay-per-views and more tickets and has more accomplishments than all of those fighters, right? But you want to sit here and you want to talk about promoters losing money. And then on top of that, you want to throw your little bullshit catchphrase talking about yesterday's price ain't today's price. So the deal was already trash, right? You already offered Danny, Mikey, Sean, Ugas more money and more of a pay-per-view split than a Terrence Bud Crawford, right? Initially with the deal. But by you saying yesterday's price ain't today's price, essentially what you're saying is it gotta be even lower than the already trash deal. So it gotta go from what, 35% to what, 20%, 15%, what, 10%, 5%? What it gotta be? Does Bud gotta pay you in order to get Earl in the ring? I'm just trying to figure this out, right? But then he's talking about promoters losing money and all this blase, squaze, yakety schmackety. But at the end of the day, Bud got dudes that was willing to put up the money, right? Bud had an investor that was obviously ready to put up the $50 million in order to get him in the ring. So obviously they weren't that concerned about losing money and all this old bullshit that Derrick James is talking about, right? That eliminates that entire excuse altogether, because if Al Hammond is worried about losing money, then what's the problem with letting another guy put up the money and lose his money? Somebody make it make sense for me, right? But you can't, because all this translates to is I don't want the fight at the end of the day. But let's keep it going though, because we're not done. Let's keep it going.
Is it disappointing when, I'm talking about for the sport of boxing, that fight like that doesn't happen, especially if you look over and you say, man, Tank and Garcia gets made. God, this
right.
For fight fans, this would have been phenomenal. Right. Phenomenal for the sport.
That's why you see like one fight can be made, one fight can be made. Like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was made, right? Or Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia was made. But this fight was not able to be made. Why is that? In all three of those scenarios, there were one individual, one company in kind, right? It was, PBC. So to say that PBC doesn't work with all these other people is asinine, because you saw them work with other people, right? Golden Boy, they work together, right?
And there's some people who said that PBC was the reason. There's a narrative out there that's like, that's the reason why this fight didn't get made.
But then at the same time, they promoted the fight with Tyson Fury twice. They promoted the fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis.
So Derrick James, and this is why this nigga really shouldn't talk on behalf of Errol Spence, because you just exposed the shit out of Errol Spence, right? In your effort to try to discredit Terrence Bud Crawford, you exposed the shit out of Errol Spence Jr. You exposed that man. Because what happened to Bud being on the wrong side of the street? What happened to Blame Bob? Right? What happened to he signed to the wrong promoter? What happened to all those things which were, according to you and Errol Spence and a lot of the Errol Spence fans, were the reason why the fight couldn't happen in the past? What happened to the easy route and the fights that were easier to make? What happened to all that? But you came out your mouth and you just said that it ain't no problem making a cross-promotional fight. You talked about all the cross-promotional fights that were made in the past, right? How easy those were to make and how those were able to be made, right? But your team are the same people that were saying the reason why the fight couldn't happen before was because he was on Top Rank. So which one is it, Derrick James? This is why he shouldn't speak on behalf of Errol Spence, because all he's going to do is put his foot in his mouth. You know what I mean? And this is just yet another example of Derrick James putting his foot in his mouth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But this is just sad, bro. This is just 100%, 155% sad, bro, at the end of the day, man. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out, man. But until next time, man, I'm hollering at y'all. Peace.
Spence and Crawford are fighting. Who wins?
Who's the king of the welterweights?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now.
Sugar Ray with Spence and Crawford.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody know who won that fight. He think Errol Spence.
Okay.
Errol Spence, he be looking, he'll get knocked up more than 6 rounds.
Crawford's a bad boy, but Spence, Spence is a pressure cooker, so if he can maintain with Crawford early, then he can make a good fight. But if he ain't on his game, they might be right.
Crawford reminds me of me, bro. So I'm pretty sure you know how I feel about that. Ain't nobody else gonna say that, but I'ma say it. The way he approached that shit, he don't see none of them guys. He don't care nothing about none of them guys.
Got him!